friends of Rock Rebel magazine. We are here today with Henkka from Children of Bodom. Mitä kuuluu?
Kiitos.
How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
A bit tired from the tour, I guess.
Should I watch this or you? Or does it matter?
As you prefer.
I'll try to do both. For some reason it's been hard to sleep, but it's not really tired of touring, but maybe just tired of the lack of sleep. But now I try to sleep also during the day, so that it doesn't matter if the night sleep is a little bit too little.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'd like to start our chat talking, with starting off with a question that sounds a bit trivial, I know, but 20 years of career aren't a joke. Basically, it's a very important matter, especially if you embark on a tour without having a new real album out. So, how did you come up with the decision of playing songs taken from your first 4 records rather than playing, for example, the album in its entirety or giving some spots to some new songs?
We have been, joking about the anniversary thing, and now that it actually is 20 years since Something Wild, so we decided that if there's a chance to do another tour, we should do it. And for some reason, some of the guys were not happy to do the whole play one album entirely. I don't know why. But then just a few weeks before we started the tour, we decided that we're going to do only the first 4 albums. And I think it's a pretty good idea to do that, so it's more, because the first album would anyway have like 7 songs and it's like 30 minutes long, so this way we have the full set of old stuff instead of just 30 minutes of old stuff. So, and also I think it's refreshing for us that we had to practice like almost 10 songs that we haven't played in years, and I guess it's refreshing for at least the old school diehard fans who've been waiting to hear Something Wild songs live, and some of the Hate Breeder songs too. So, and yeah, so there's no Are You Idiots or In Your Faces, but maybe next time then.
Well, as you perfectly know, Something Wild has been released 20 years ago, and it had been followed by 8 studio albums that were kind of different from each other, but they still kept the trademark of the band, the Bodom sound, if we can say so. And well, everybody knows also that Children of Bodom is not one of those bands who sit on a table and discuss their material, because you don't discuss how to compose or how to write your music. And indeed, I can say that the songwriting process has always been so natural in Children of Bodom. So I would like to ask you, have you ever thought of thinking of your previous record and, for example, to the previous material you've done at the early days, and, for example, revive some songs you have left behind or something like that?
Like redo them, re-record them?
Yeah.
Yes, for example, now Alexi is talking about Knuckle Duster, that we should rewrite it, and not rewrite it, but re-record it, and maybe with new lyrics, because he was not happy with it as a recording or as with text. So I think that's something that we might be doing, but otherwise we haven't thought about touching the old stuff except it live.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I would like to ask you something concerning your audience. The music business is always developing somehow, and also the fans, if we can say so. But talking about the fans specifically, have you ever noticed some change in your audience? For example, we've noticed that, especially now, the audience is made up of young people and also the older one, if we can say so. So have you ever noticed something?
Never like any dramatic changes. Maybe the biggest difference is that now we can have 13-year-olds and 53-year-olds at the same time, and maybe the 53-year-old has been there since the day one. So I think that's maybe the biggest change, but that has come, after 20 years, of course. But I haven't seen otherwise any dramatic changes. But it's nice to hear nice to see that there are all kinds of ages.
It's very varied, if we can say so.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about tours instead, both the European and the American ones, is there any particular, well, we know that Children of Bodom selects a certain amount of shows in every country, but have you ever felt the need of playing again in some places you've never visited that often? For example, is there any city you would like to play in? And for example, in your tours, you never played that often in that country.
Yeah, there's a lot of cities that we would like to go more often, but the booking agent seemed to know better where to go. Of course, we can't afford to go for free either. So it has to be sensible financially too. So sometimes we cannot go places we would like to go because it doesn't make sense. But yeah, there's many places that we would like to go more often, but it just doesn't seem to. For example, if we're talking about Italy, we almost never go to Rome, and we have never played, below Rome, like Naples or Milan.
Always in Milan, if I'm not mistaken. Always in Milan.
Always in Milan.
Yeah.
Maybe once in Ravenna and once in a couple of times in Torino.
Always in the northern part.
Yeah, and then maybe once or twice in Rome, and then one festival in Sardinia.
Yes.
But that's about it. So yeah, for example that. But for some reason, we've never booked shows anywhere else than in Milan.
Okay, talking about you, if you were to judge yourself and your musical evolution as a musician, how would you describe it? I mean, what is your own approach to your instrument? I mean, is it changed over the years or has it been the same somehow?
I joined the band, I was a guitar player, and then I joined as a bassist. So my first, and I was 14 years old. So my first years with the band was like, kind of like playing bass but with a guitar attitude. I was kind of like the third guitarist, even though I played more simple stuff. But I did a lot of stuff what the guitars were doing also. And then little by little, I started to take the position of being more like a bassist. Even if I think that I'm technically more able nowadays, but I started to play more simple stuff. Nowadays my goal is to be more simple because there's so much stuff going around anyway. So I try to kind of be the peaceful bottom of the whole chaos on top of it,
Because you worship chaos.
So that way my playing has changed maybe quite a lot actually.
Well, I know it could sound a bit trivial, but do you have any other passion beside music, or why not some passion that arose from music itself?
Passion. It's a strong word. Well, I've been always a football fan. I would call it one of my passions, either playing or watching or just following. So that has been with me ever since, even maybe before music. So arose from the music. I don't know. It's hard to say because the music has been so big part of my life since 25 years now. So I don't know what things are what are coming from the music or what would have come anyway. So it's hard to say, but I would say the music and football at the moment.
Like Italians.
Yeah.
Okay, well, times are a bit harder nowadays for the music industry. We know that Children of Bodom would like to film another DVD since 11 years have been passed from Stockholm Knockout, if I'm not mistaken. So, but it seems it's kind of hard to do it due to some financial reasons. So, if you had the chance to do something like this, like a DVD or whatever, would you kind of offer another live album, or would you opt for a real recording? a DVD, or for example, would you put some extras like a studio session or something live?
I would like to do, if I could choose, I would just do one good show and have it recorded with cameras really, really nicely, and then have a live album, like kind of like a traditional live DVD. But as I talked yesterday with our label guys, they said that it doesn't really make sense, again. And they were suggesting that maybe we should do something like record one show live and has it as a bonus material for the next album or something like that. So yeah, we have to think about these options. But it would be nice to put out something live again. But I think it should be a show, like a full show, so that there's all the varieties of our history in one show.
Okay, it was my last question, so
Okay.
I would like to thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time, or better, kiitos paljon.
Kiitos.
So, as our tradition, once I give the interviewee the chance to share the final words, so I call you to speak.
Well, I suppose that people are mostly from Italy, or is it the worldwide thing? Well, then I would say that thanks for following us and having any interest in us. If you're watching this, though, then you must be at somehow supporting at least metal and maybe even Children of Bodom. So